¿Sentís el abrasador aliento de los dragones en la nuca? Pues claro, porque ya estamos a las puertas del estreno de la segunda temporada de la Casa del Dragón, que aterrizará en Max el próximo 17 de junio. Y hemos tenido el placer de charlar con Olivia Cooke, Matthew Needham, Fabien Frankle, Collett y Ewan Mitchell, o lo que es lo mismo, Alicent Hightower, Larys Strong, Criston Cole, Jacaerys Velaryon y Aemond Targaryen. Así que vamos a enfrentar a los verdes y a los negros.
I mean, it's so hard to say anything without really spoiling the arc, but I think this relationship comes at a time where they both desperately need one another, and they feel, I think especially for Alicent, this feels like a bit of a teenage obsession. She's not had any passion in her life like that ever, and so it feels slightly addictive, and I think it comes as like a massive distraction to whatever else is going on in the realm. And then, you know, after the end of episode 1, it's a massive point of shame and guilt for the pair of them, but ultimately like compelling, and they sort of can't bear to be without it. Right.
I get to hear your answers that you've been
practicing. I mean, I haven't been practiced that. That's off the top of the
dome.
Really, straight,
don't
really.
Know if First one of the day.
Don't even know if
Quite
I
good answer,
believe
I thought. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo a little bit what Olivia said, but obviously it's a slightly different relationship for Cole, because he's sort of known her since she was just a young kid, and he was looking after Rhaenyra. But I think that there's, you know, Alicent kind of pulled him out of the mud at the lowest point really in his life, at the end of episode 5 in season 1, and I think that there's just a fierce loyalty towards her, which obviously manifests itself into a sort of physical relationship as the show progresses. But yeah, I mean, we can't really say too much more.
I think there's an imaginary cord that sort of binds them together no matter what. Something happens to Rhaenyra and Alicent feels the ripple effects and vice versa. So I think we'll continue to see them be affected by one another as the season progresses. Yeah.
I think that human side has always been there, you know. It all goes back to that neglected, lonely, bullied boy from episodes 6 and 7 of season 1. Mm-hmm. You know, he was the spare. He felt like he should have been loved a little bit more. He was the only kid in the family to not receive a dragon egg, and he was different. He was bullied for being different. And, you know, he ended up claiming the largest, baddest, oldest dragon in the known world, in Vhagar. It's a tremendous feat of courage, to smile in the face of adversity and to take what you want. So I think that's certainly one of the redeeming aspects of the character. And it's always been there, that drive's still there, you know, and in my episodes, for sure, I kind of lent into the black hat of the series, the villain, but it contradicts that theory at the end of the series when you see Aemond, like you say, full of regret on the back of his dragon after killing Lucerys. Going into season 2, you are going to see, you know, a much more multifaceted, a shadow side to Aemond, which I can't wait for people to see. You know, I think Aemond sees Aegon as someone who lacks the perseverance to be king. You know, he very much feels Aegon is inferior to himself. Whilst Aemond was in the Red Keep yard training with Criston Cole day in, day out, while he was studying with the Maesters, Aegon was in some dark corner in Fleabottom, squandering his inheritance. And so Aemond feels like he might be able to do a better job, but loyalty is one of Aemond's redeeming qualities, and he will be loyal to his brother, he will be loyal to his cause, the Greens. And I can't wait for people to see that relationship and dynamic evolve throughout season 2. I mean, every single day there's always something that inspires you, you know, from actors on this show, actors on other shows, you know, actors from the past, actors in film. I take inspiration where I get it, and yeah, working with these guys, it's a blast day in, day out. They're so welcoming, they make you feel so at ease, and it's like I say, it's one of the best parts of the job.
That's a really good question. You're right, he doesn't have a dragon, but not everybody needs a dragon. I think I wouldn't describe him as an evil villain, but it's taking a lot of effort to not make him appear so. It's very very easy with a sort of archetypal character like that to dip into sort of moustache twirling. So I wanted to work really, really hard this season to get away from that. I would call him a lone survivor. I'd say he is someone with the deck stacked against him in many regards. He's a person with a disability in a sort of medieval society. He's sort of despised for that, and yet he's slowly rising up the ranks of power. I think that's way more impressive than riding a dragon, personally. Well, that's an interesting dynamic. There's a sort of power play going on between them. She has the power, but he does as well, and is so manipulative. And you're never quite certain who's in control in that relationship, I feel. And I feel that his sights might be expanding slightly. It's going to be an interesting dynamic this season. I think it's the fact that it's inevitable. I think he's a realist in that he knows that it's going to happen. I think if he had a choice, I think he would be pro-war in that it gives him more of a chance to manipulate the chaos around him to further his own ends. But I think he's just a realist. This is what's going to happen. I think there's a realization that the house was made vulnerable. The fact that certain characters' transgressions resulted in the death of the king's son, that's leaving the house well open to that sort of attack. And that's not good business. That's not how you fight a war. So I think it's unacceptable. Oh, I think it's the fact that he has sort of obstacles this season. I think the fact that he, the first season, he just sort of, you just sort of, something would happen and you'd find out he was behind it, and it was up to you as the audience to sort of piece together how you got there. Whereas this season, you sort of see him playing the game in real time and trying and failing, and then having to sort of pivot and adapt. Because everything moves at such a pace now. It's war, like war's broken out. The board is constantly changing, and he's having to change with it. And I found that so much more interesting to play. Someone really having to work to overcome obstacles.
I think you can see a completely new side to Jace. I feel like, you know, this grief has kind of turned him into a different person, but also matured him in a way. So Jace has evolved massively, and also something that's really nice, we get to see these lovely little moments between Baelor and Jace this season, and growing as a relationship, and growing up really in front of our eyes on screen, which is really, really beautiful. I can't say anything. I'll let it be a surprise. If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. So we don't know. I think I'm very close with the wonderful Emma Darcy, who plays Rhaenyra. Sometimes we don't get to have those mother and son moments on screen, but I've always said Emma's like a second mother to me, and Matt's like a second father, because even on moments like this when I do press tours and my actual parents aren't here, if I have anything, it's like having a second mum and dad there, which I think is really nice. But Emma is amazing, and if I had any difficulty on set, I would ask them, and they would be like a knowledge machine. Emma would know everything, and Emma's had a lot of experience in the past, a lot more than me, I would say. So it's really nice to have someone there, and they're just a beautiful person inside and out. No, I don't think power. Obviously, he wants the throne in the future, so he wants that for the future of Team Black. But I don't think he wants power necessarily. I feel like that sort of comes. I feel like Jace feels powerful as it is. So I feel like legitimacy is more important to him. If everybody thinks that he is worthy for the throne, I would say that means that Jace would be very happy, because everybody knows he's a bastard, and he knows it. So I feel like he's sort of fighting this little battle of his own, as much as the battle that's happening.
I think that, probably the performances, I would say, really was. I don't know if it's more ambitious or not, because the first season was so ambitious unto itself, just by nature of it being kind of the first remake of the original show. But I think that the thing that impressed me the most were just the new actors coming in, because I think it's really hard when you're sort of losing actors like Paddy Considine to have sort of new actors come in, and I think that the likes of like Tom and Ewan and Fia, and some actors who've yet to be seen, Simon Russell Beale and Freddie Fox, I think will just just gave such impressive performances in already sort of like a world that felt very established. So for me, that was sort of that will be the talking point, I hope.
I agree, and I also think we see more of the Game of Thrones world this season as well. So we go to different territories which we've only previously seen in Game of Thrones, and so that's really exciting as well. So ambitious in that sense.
Just the continuous surprises that season 2 has to offer. Every episode outdoes the one before it. It takes it to an 11, and it just keeps going. And it's that makes up so much of the world of fire and blood and the world of Westeros. It is, anything can happen. All bets are off. Just when you think this series can't surprise you, it'll surprise you.
It's definitely bigger and better. The sets, the scale of it is huge, and little things, the little details matters with us actors. We'll walk around, do a scene. There was this beautiful library room that me and Em shot in a lot, and we would pick up scrolls in scenes or pick up books, and they'd be filled out in Valyrian, or there'd be a scroll and there'd be Valyrian language there, or it would be filled out, and little details like that, because on some shoots you open a book or you open a scroll and there's a blank piece of paper, and it just gives you something to work with. So everything was just incredible this season, right from the massive, huge sets like, you know, the wall, or last season it was the throne room, which was insane, all the way down to little tiny details like books and scrolls that we can work with. It's really, really cool.
Stamina. I mean, I was only in 4 episodes last year, so I would come to set and be like, why does everyone look so tired? And then, you know, was in all of the episodes this year, and I found it was an absolute marathon. It is a behemoth to take on, and I was very burnt out by the end, so I need to figure out a way to manage that next time.
Yeah, similar for me. Yeah, similar for me too. It's just I think that the nature of the show is just like it's different to making a movie, obviously, but because it's TV, but just the sheer scale of it means that like really you're sort of having to learn how to wait efficiently, and I felt like I was I haven't yet sort of got the found my sort of rhythm with the waiting. I find I'm very impatient, so
It's the collaboration with all the crew. Amanda Knight, our hair and makeup artist, hair and makeup designer, Caroline McCall, our costume designer. You know, their work together really does. It's the costumes, the wig, the eye patch. They all hold so much gravitas for myself. You know, I pass myself in the mirror and I don't recognise myself. It's liberating as an actor. I can't be anything but interesting without saying a word, and it's a testament to their talent.
I love Rhaenys.
yeah, she's amazing.
I do love Daemon. I love watching what
Matthew Smith.
Yeah, what Matt's done with Daemon.
Yeah, amazing.
It's so compelling.
I'm very excited to see. I haven't yet. Luke and Elliot Tittensaw, who play Arik and Eric, have some amazing stuff this season, and I just think they're such extraordinary actors. And so I'm very excited to see more of them.
My favourite character, it would have to be Aemond first, out of loyalty. But my second favourite character would be Criston Cole. I think Fabien Frankle does such a phenomenal job this series. I can't wait for people to see it. But yeah, Fabien is one of the best parts of the job. You know, to work with him, to collaborate, to experiment. You know, we keep each other on our toes, and you pick up a few moves in the process.
I would say, my favourite character I would say is Daemon, just because I think he's sick. Like, he is very cool. Like, he will just push everybody out of his way. He doesn't care. He will chop someone's head off if they have to, as we've already seen that. And he wants that crown, you know? And it's amazing that he kind of plays my stepdad, really, in this, which is very, 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 very cool. And I feel like Jace admires Daemon in a way. I feel like he wants to be like him. And I want to be like Daemon in some aspects.
Everyone likes these 3 words. Everyone likes 3 words. I'm so bad with 3 words. Someone said something good the other day, that, like, death, life, love.
Live, laugh, love.
Someone else said that. I didn't come up with that. Mine would be better than that if I had one. Olivia.
I think you summed it up perfectly.
No, Olivia, please.
Do you know, fire, blood, cheese. The viewers will understand.
Everyone will know. Everyone will know. There's a great selection of cheeses in the show.
Nos queda claro que sube la apuesta. Max Grande, Max Brutal y, en Max, el 17 de junio, 8 nuevos episodios que nos narrarán la danza de los dragones.